Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Tom Brady, now joined by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride men's lacrosse team, Seth Tierney. Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Now, Coach, a big game for your team this weekend, going up against the #1 team in the nation up at Gillette Stadium in the New England Lacrosse Classic. Wound up dropping a tough one, 14-13 to the UMass Minutemen. You've had a couple of days. Give me some of your thoughts on the game.
Just tough. It's just tough. I feel like I sit in this chair with you every week, and it's just been one of those years. We find out a couple minutes before the game, maybe a minute before the game, that Adrian Sorchetti can't go, and he's our leading point getter and probably, arguably, one of our better players, or if not our best player on our team. And he's part of a lot of things. Man up, wings of attack on the face-off, first line on the midfield, playing a ton. And so now we're jockeying. We had just hoped that he was going to be able to rise to the occasion and at the very least, take the long stick midfielder away from Olave and Serling, but it wasn't meant to be. And I think that news shocked our guys a little bit. And before you knew it, we were down 4-0. And I give them credit. They fought back. They got it to like 8-5 at the half. It was an extremely business-like halftime. Obviously, I was trying to get our guys going a little bit. I wasn't happy with some of the ground ball play. I wasn't happy with some of the effort and some of the toughness that was going to be needed to beat UMass. And we got out and had a great third quarter, tied it up, and then just couldn't hold on at the end there. They're a good team.
Now, you mentioned UMass jumped out to a 4-0 lead, and it seemed that early on in the game your team was a little bit sloppy, some problems with clears. Was that just playing in a big game and seeing a great UMass team come out of the game?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but they're all excuses. And we played in big games. We played in not a stadium like Gillette, but the week before we were down in Carolina. But we had a couple of turnovers that led to their goals, and then you go down 4-1 or 4-0. And then the issue is you're using so much energy to get it back. When is that energy going to teeter out? And normally at the end of the game, that's when it teeters out. But when we fought to the end, and we needed some breaks that didn't take place. And to UMass's credit, they got some breaks, but they did some good things. And I'm proud of the fight, certainly in the third quarter, and sporadically throughout the game. And we put up 13 goals without Adrian Sorchetti. There's a positive there. The ground ball situation wasn't a positive. We can't give up 14 goals in a game, but our defense has been there for us for a lot of the year, and we needed some more help. But the face-off guys, Zach Paul, he deserves a shout out, and those guys played well.
They mentioned that third quarter, a team went on a 4-goal run at the end of the third. Also got the first one of the fourth quarter to actually take an 11-10 lead. Tell me about that run. What was going right for your team?
Yeah, with momentum. It's huge during any team, but it's really big during a young team because it can carry you through. You don't know how important momentum is until you have a young team. When you have an older team, they understand that you got to fight through some tough times. You have a younger team, it's hard to get the momentum back because it's such a depressing thing when you don't have it or you lose it. But we fought back, and we got some people to believe, and the UMass sideline was a little bit they were like, oh boy, here it comes. And that was great, and then, we got a penalty that was called on them, and we didn't control our emotions well, and it offset the penalty instead of taking advantage of the penalty, and we're just not good enough to not have a 2-minute non-releasable against the #1 team in the country. When you're up a goal, you could end up making it a 2 or 3 goal game at that point in time, and that could be the cushion. I'm not saying that we would have won or lost because of that situation, but we need those things to take place for us, especially in a year like this.
Now in the fourth quarter, some of your other losses, face-offs haven't been consistent, but your team won 6 of 8 in this fourth quarter. How do you explain UMass going on a little bit of a run themselves? They put up 4 goals after your run.
Yeah, one of the things, I thought John and Zach did a great job with the face-off X, but I thought their wing play was better than our wing play. It hurts me to say that, but we do have some young guys on the wings. They got some seniors out there, and I thought that we turned the ball over a little bit after maybe winning the draw and turning it over. The lead wasn't good enough to go into the fourth quarter. We've seen that before, where we have allowed things in the first 3 quarters to really be a 2, 3, even a 4-goal lead. Never got to that point to offset a team that's down, that's going to make a run. We were down. We made a run, but the same thing happened in Carolina. We had some opportunities in Carolina to get a 3-goal lead, And it allows you, the 3-goal lead is so much bigger than a 2-goal lead. It's not just 1 goal, because if they score with a 2-goal lead, now it's a 1-goal game. They score with a 3-goal lead, you still got some cushion, you got some time to kill, and that's what the issue was. And we failed to do that so far this year.
Now, offensively, you mentioned it, team didn't have Adrian Soroketti, a guy who, even if he's not putting up points, certainly draws a lot of attention. But, had another hat trick from Mike Malave. You got 3 goals from your second midfield line. Were you happy with the offensive production?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the game was going to play out a little bit differently, to be honest with you. But again, however it plays out, you got to coach to that, to how it's rolling. But certainly thrilled for Lance, Yapor, and Mike Malave. When you don't have Adrian, now all of a sudden the long stick goes to Steven Serling, and now your next dodging option, or your first dodging option against a short stick, is now Mike Malave, who's a freshman, and he stepped up 2 weeks in a row now. I'm not sure how many goals he has, but if you get 8 to 10 or 11 goals in your freshman year as a freshman midfielder, that's pretty good.
Actually, defensively, the team was playing a guy, Will Manny, putting up about 5 points per game. You held him to 2. How did he, get some of those other guys involved and wind up hurting your team a little bit?
Will Manny is the Adrian Soroketti of UMass, and when you got to concentrate on him, it takes away, on other scenarios. And I thought Mark Mullen, when he was on him, he did a good job. And to shut him down to 1-1 last year, Michael Scudden shut him down. He's a very talented player, and he's a wonderful person. I mean, we recruited Will, and he's got a great family. They do a great job with him. But the other guys stepped up around him, and they started putting the ball in the goal. And again, you lose by 1, you go down 4-0. These are the things that, again, we still have an opportunity to make the CA tournament. We need some outside help, but these are the things that are going to eat away at myself and my staff and the seniors for the rest of their lives, and certainly the rest of the team for over the summer, where we have been ahead and we've got to learn how to finish, and that's something that we're going to need to take place. It has to be adjusted for this week, and it's got to be adjusted for the future.
You mentioned it, still a chance to make the CAA tournament. You got a big game this coming week down in Penn State.
Yeah.
You also need a little bit of help from the St. Joe's team to get a win over Towson. But when you look at this Penn State team, obviously a terrific goalie in Austin Kaut. What do you see when you look at the Nittany Lions?
Yeah, Austin Kaut, he can play, and he's had some off games, but he's had some games where he's won the game for Penn State. So, that's a good point for them. They got a good face-off crew. You talk about, Matt McCready's. He's pretty good, and Shane Sturgis is putting up some numbers for them. Forster is another great player for them. So they've got great players that are doing a great job for them, and it's a huge game for us. They're in the CAA tournament right now. Again, it's at their place, so it's a positive for them. The last time we were there, we lost a lead and ended up losing the game. We ended up getting them last year, but we're going to get on the bus on Friday, and we got to play for our lives. Our season is on the line, regardless of what anything else happens. We got to win this game, because if we don't win this game, it doesn't make a difference what anything else happens. We need to win this game in order to just have a chance to keep our season alive. And whatever happens in the other game, we can't control. I would love to end at the very least 500 and on a winning note for our seniors.
And what's the feeling like going to be in practice this coming week? Your team, a couple of tough losses, but still, trying to keep them motivated and get them prepared for a must-win game. Man.
They've answered the bell every week. Maybe not with wins, but I'm certainly proud of the fight that the Hofstra lacrosse team has put forth. And again, there are those years where, and I've been part of a lot of teams at different schools, and you just, there's something that's missing, and I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know what it is. It could be talent. It could be a coaching situation on me. It could be something, but we're going to look back and we're going to, this whole thing is getting better each and every day and getting guys better. And I think you see guys that are stepping up, and, we got to get going this week.
And finally, Coach, like I ask you each week, what are you looking for to get out of your team this week to get ready for Penn State?
I'm looking for the same fight. The message I'm going to send to our guys this week is effort doesn't win games. Effort, execution, and the love for the name on the front of your jersey wins games, and we need to continue to strive for that.
All right, Coach Seth Tierney, thanks for joining us inside the WB Mason Coaches Report on GoHofstra.com, and good luck this week.
Thanks, Tom.